The following is an AI-based parody created for satire and entertainment purposes. All voices, conversations, and scenarios are artificially generated and do not represent the opinions, actions, or voices of any individuals represented. This content is not meant to confuse or misinform.
All right, and we're back, and last time we left Admiral Anderson on hold, so we'd better answer his call.
Feels kind of messed up to leave Anderson on hold the one time he can breathe during the invasion.
Shepard.
Oh, relax, he looks perfectly
so
fine.
By now you've wiped the galaxy clean of Reapers and we can all come up for air?
If only it could be so easy.
We got a lot of war left ahead of us.
Aren't there always? Hackett filled me in on the Crucible. Sounds like you've got some knots to untangle.
Speaking of knots, what about you tying the knot with Miss Sanders?
I gather you and Kaylee Sanders were close.
You know, wonder what happens to Kali if we don't head to Grissom Academy.
You really have to ask that as if it's not obvious?
If you don't go to Grissom Academy, Anderson will presume Kaylee has been killed in the attack. Personally, I think Cerberus would have captured her for information, and probably indoctrinated her to take advantage of her intellect.
That sounds like a worse outcome than if she just got shot.
It is, but that's the kind of world we live in.
Maybe when the war's over, Kaylee and I will do something about that.
Okay, well, Anderson just raised his own death flag.
A rookie mistake. The soldier just mentioned he's got a girl waiting for him. Now the writers just have to kill him off.
Full of scared bureaucrats.
Well, that's politics for you.
I don't know how you deal with all the politics. It's a pain in the ass.
As I recall, you gave me the job.
Yeah, that's my fault, but I wasn't going to give Udina the honor of being the first human counselor.
A spiteful but very valid decision from you, Donald.
The more you know, you're accomplishing something.
Well, I wouldn't be so sure about that, Anderson. See here in D.C. We do a lot of complaining and a whole lot of nothing gets done anyway.
Around the world have stopped checking in.
So where in the States do you think you'd be the safest during the invasion?
Probably in that sparsely populated area in the West.
Unless the Reapers are in the interest of harvesting cows, you're probably safe longer in a state like Wyoming or Idaho than you would be in Texas and California.
Vancouver must not be looking too good by now.
Yeah, I'm sure Vancouver is either a smoking crater or a hub for human harvesting by now.
They're focusing on the big cities, which does give us some room to maneuver.
See, just stay out of the cities and maybe you'll live longer.
This brings me back to what I said about North Sentinel Island the other episode. I know the Reapers access census data to find people, but what do they do about people located in remote regions of the world, like Siberia or northern Alaska and Canada?
They'd probably just kill the planet by shooting at it from orbit to ensure any stragglers are either killed or eventually die when nothing is left to survive off of.
Seems like a waste of a perfectly good planet.
Also, I guess preserving organic life doesn't extend all the way to every kind of animal and plants.
Anderson out.
Commander.
Let's pick up our main mission for this episode from Victus.
Oh yay, an episode of cleaning up the Turians' mess.
I couldn't speak in front of the Krogan. Our ship went down on Tuchanka.
Then you might want to keep your voice down. Rex is in the same room. I know he's old, but he isn't hard of hearing.
What are your men doing there?
I'm sorry. That's classified.
Victus, come on, man. I like you, but this level of secrecy is a rare elf from you.
Also, he has to know we'll figure out what his platoon was doing on Tuchanka sooner or later.
Galactic peace while the Reapers lay siege to both of our worlds is an interesting choice of words.
I'll do what I can.
I appreciate your help and understanding.
I'll give you hell for omitting relevant information later on Victus, but for now you're good.
Of your own planet. Commander, Cerberus is attacking civilians on Benning.
And here's my other assignment for the day.
Feels like forever ago that we spoke to Dominic.
The abductions mission only unlocks after you've done one of the two missions for Victus or Rex.
You play strategy games?
A few.
We've got another gamer on the Normandy.
I wonder if Samantha and Legion would get along.
Their gaming tastes are totally different. Legion likes shooters and MMOs, while Sam plays chess and whatever the hell Kepish Yakshi is supposed to be.
Now that I know your weakness, we may have to try a game.
There's nothing I'd rather do less during the Reaper invasion than play chess.
How about being indoctrinated?
You sweat playing chess?
Also, that reminds me, after Grissom Academy, we would have found David Archer in the AI core playing chess with Edie thanks to the expanded Galaxy mod.
Oh, damn it, I missed that.
Nah, that's my fault. It slipped my mind that episode.
I warned you, age is catching up with you, Barack. I told you things would start feeling different as you got closer to 65.
Pound for pound, they're the best fighting force in the galaxy.
Pound for pound is irrelevant, given the significantly higher mass of Reaper forces overall.
Edie really hit Joker with the well, actually.
I know Krogan are heavy, but I don't think bringing them in is going to help the pound for pound
Our
statement.
little tank baby's all grown up, huh?
The benefits of being cared for by the best in the galaxy.
In no time.
Well, you learn from the best, Commander. Every time he incinerates someone with a shotgun and does that little laugh, he'll think of you.
That little laugh was the best thing they added to Grunt.
Yeah.
Didn't you take take care of that back on Novaria?
You better believe I did, and I was very glad to get to do it a second time.
You want to nuke it from orbit? It's the only way to...
Joker, my man, I knew there was a reason I liked you.
If only he thought to do that while we were on Pharaohs, we could have just nuked the Thorian.
I think you're forgetting about the colonists there, Donald.
Don't got to worry about them if all of them are
I
dead.
tried asking Liara questions about the Asari bonding process. She said I do not guard the secrets of the Normandy's crew carefully enough for her to entrust me with such private information.
Subtle character growth from Liara there, considering that she can talk about the Asari bonding process in your first conversation with her back in 1.
In hindsight, it was kind of crazy that she talks about how her people procreate so casually.
It was a purely educational explanation, to be fair.
Wasn't the first time we've faced Rachni.
Really?
Man, we're seeing this Copeland guy all over the place.
At least he isn't arguing with the more important members of the Normandy this time.
Are we counting Diana as important now?
She's important enough as long as she's on the ship.
You smoked? I can't imagine that. The things you've done, sir, they're amazing.
Calling him sir is crazy.
Okay, get off Garrus's lap, Copeland. I'm cool with him now, but he ain't all that.
Let Garrus aura farm for the red shirts, he's earned it.
Hoping your ass comes along for the ride. Just one word, Shepard. Grunt.
Never mind, he and I are on the same page. Go ahead and keep glazing him Copeland.
Doctor, I'd like to hear the song.
Let's sit back and listen to Morden sing a little song.
You said you
If the Krogan Queen wants a song, then she gets a song.
Oh, better to die to a thresher maw with shotgun blasting roaring rather than to play ambassadorial games with the blood of Shi'ar.
Whoa, hold up. Is that my boy over there? What's happening to him?
Oh, don't mind Grunt, he's just getting some care after his near-death battle against the Rachni.
Live and die a Krogan queen, for she is the Krogan.
I can see his fluids leaking out all over the place. Chakwa, stop looking at your Omni tool and patch him up.
Grunt laying there suffering from blood loss and listening to Morden sing his heart out, unable to protest or leave, is a very funny visual.
I prefer to think Grunt liked it too.
I barely ever recruit Diana, so I don't remember most of these conversations.
She doesn't say a lot outside of her interviews. If we talked to her, we could kick her off whenever we wanted.
It might also piss off a Krogan with diplomatic immunity. No thanks.
Gotta admit, Diana is smart. She's not trying to get knocked the fuck out by a Krogan like Kalisa did in the Shadow Broker video archives.
Of course, that's the only video archives you can recall.
That's not true. I remember the one where Anderson punches Udina in the stomach. I laughed at it for an hour.
I just needed an extra pair of hands. I am an engineer, remember?
Were oils and lubricants involved? Was there any moaning?
Good Lord, Kenneth.
This guy is getting himself bricked up while he's on the clock.
My imagination was that good.
The funny part is that Edie can definitely hear all of the things he's saying.
Commander, I did not expect to face the Rachni in this cycle.
You can call them spiders all you want. They're capable of surviving anything like cockroaches do.
Biological proxies. It was before I was born, but every Prothean had heard the stories.
If they've been around so long, why didn't they become a spacefaring species?
He's going to tell us in a little bit. Just listen.
But our scientists were more interested in their biology. The Rachni were well suited to harsh conditions, so we bred them for violence.
Well, there's our answer. The Solarians got it from the Protheans.
Then we unleashed them upon our enemies. For a time, it worked, until they became too cunning and warlike and turned on us.
That's an inevitable conclusion considering what we've seen of the Rachni thus far.
They would be perfectly fine if people would just leave them alone. First the Protheans bred them for war, then the Leviathan used them, and then Binary Helix started messing with them.
We can wield against the Reapers should be used. But destroying that monstrosity was a good decision, Commander.
Oh, I guess Javik changed his mind from what he said at the end of the mission.
The way the breeder started going insane after I correctly decided to leave it convinced him it was no good.
Living in his quarters, I have come to know him better. He will fight the Reapers with great ferocity.
Grunt is getting a lot of respect this episode.
Yup, as he damn well should.
Hey, Esteban, for your shuttle being so stealthy and all, you sure do get shot at a lot.
And here's our guests on the Normandy.
Are those the survivors of Airlock Company?
Yep, you can see Erdnot Dag in the middle there. He's assumed temporary leadership while Grunt is recuperating.
Are we going to talk to him?
Yeah, as soon as Steve and James are done flirting with each other.
Don't operate in mid-range frequencies. Sure, maybe we've been shot at, but we haven't been shot down.
I'm going to remember you said that when we get to the battle on Earth.
You're almost as good a pilot as you think you are.
Well, yeah, there's that.
All right, Dag, let's see what you have to say.
Commander Shepard, Erdnot Dag. I speak for Arlock Company.
Bro, you're lucky my son carried you and the rest of these boys, otherwise you'd be getting eaten by space bugs right now.
Chosen for this duty.
I'm glad you made it.
Well, enjoy command while you can. Grunt will be up soon.
What's going on, Sophie?
Good dog.
All it does is roam around the cargo bay running up the electric bill.
Donald, stop hating on Sophie.
Tachanka firsthand. I cut the auditory emulators and watched that Cerberus cruiser gracefully and silently.
I'm jealous of you, Cortez. I would have liked to see that.
Sometimes I worry about you, man.
James, you and I are on the same page. I get worried every time Barry's talking about blowing shit up.
Liara, you had something you wanted to discuss in my cabin?
Yes, I'll be right up.
All right, before we get started with the missions, Liara has something she needs to say to us.
God willing, this is another hookup moment.
Donald, it's enough sleeping around out of you.
Come on in.
Thank you. Could we sit?
You can't blame me when they're playing this romantic-ass piano music.
I've been thinking about the knowledge we gathered on the Reapers, and how easily it could be lost again. So, I put a plan in motion to preserve things for the future.
Lyra is once again making a strong case for the MVP of the squad mates and creating her time capsule.
Too bad it has zero use, because no matter how much of a debate we have about the ending, we're not picking refusal.
If we did, the next cycle sure have it easy. All they have to do is look and listen to this box, instead of having their brain ravished by images of the Reapers to the point that it almost kills them.
The Protheans really did not make it easy on us.
Which one?
Your own. I'd be honored to have your input. How would you like history to remember you?
I'm curious to see what our morality is looking like, so I'll let Liara decide.
It's pretty much the only good dialogue anyway, since it's tied to your origins in class.
I like how she points out that a spacer shepherd is Earth's greatest soldier despite growing up in space.
One of the interesting lines is the renegade outcome. Liara admits she doesn't always agree with Shepard, but respects what they decide.
Never let what happened there define him.
I don't know about all that, Liara. Mindoir's definitely a major motivator in our hatred of Batarians.
One of the few times your class is called out in the dialogue.
The fact that biotic charge is something they see as pretty funny. Garrus and Liara hanging back while Shepard goes neck deep into 5 opponents.
Privilege to know him.
Careful, this doesn't sound...
It does kind of sound like Liara is gearing up to confess her feelings towards us.
You're a good friend, Shepard.
I know it took a lot of struggle to get the word friend out.
Surely she's still not hung up on you picking Ash back in 1.
I don't know, Asari probably have decent memories.
Joined you back on Ilium.
You made up.
She made up for it in advance when she saved our corpse from being sold to the collectors.
I suppose I did just write your name in the stars.
Now it's time for me to prove my worth in Mass Effect 3.
You got it real smooth in your last episode, only doing the Eden Prime mission. I'm looking forward to seeing you crumble after all your big talk.
I think you're about to be disappointed personally, but we'll see how things shake out.
You're always so diplomatic, Barry. Would it kill you to be a little confident so we could laugh at you when it blows up in your face?
That was me being confident.
Officially, Cerberus is denying responsibility in condemning the action. They're either lying, or we're dealing with a rogue faction.
I don't remember there being a dialogue wheel here.
It's cut content that was restored thanks to the diversification
Cerberus
mod.
knows the people are the heart and soul of the Alliance.
What's even the point of removing something like that if you already made it?
I don't know. You'll have to ask a game developer.
Approaching the drop point, Commander.
Copy that, Lieutenant.
The people down there are counting on you, Commander. Hack it out.
Everyone is counting on us these days.
The map this N7 mission takes place on is called Firebase Ghost, located on Benning. It's described as the nearest garden world to Arcturus Station. It's the station's primary food supply source and an important staging area for starship repair and maintenance.
Well, it was until Arcturus Station got reduced to a debris field.
The Reapers did send a small force to Benning to destroy its combuoys, spaceports and starships to cut off the population to the rest of the galaxy, and then left it as it is now to focus on Earth and Arcturus.
I think I just saw a civilian drop dead in front of us over there.
Oh well, sucks to suck. It's not like we were ordered to save everyone here.
All right, Rex, get up there and spin back for the people of Benning.
How nice of Rex to take time out of his busy schedule as clan chief to help us save a human colony.
Of course, Rex is just looking for a good fight, and we're giving him one.
The diversion is working, Commander. Civilians are on the move.
Oh damn, I think Rex actually went down for once.
God, I love melting people with the particle rifle. The sound they make when they turn into plasma is simply immaculate.
To repeat what Cortez said earlier, I worry about you, man.
At least he isn't going on about explosions for once.
Wait until I get the Striker assault rifle. Then I'll really be going off about explosions.
Do you think the particle rifle works well with Vanguard?
The particle rifle just flat works well. Doesn't matter what class you're on.
Yeah, Donald is right about that. It's heavy. But since it's good mid and close range, basically any class can use it as a solo primary weapon so it doesn't impact your cooldowns too much.
What is it, Lieutenant?
Damn, another one died right in front of us.
Imagine running from gunfire, seeing Commander Shepard, and then dying anyway.
You feel just a glimmer of hope and then total despair.
To distract from the guilt of failing to save lives here. I do think the particle rifle has pretty good synergy with the Vanguard's charge ability. Instead of charging in, using a shotgun to damage and prime a target for an explosion, and detonating it with Nova, you can instead prime the target using the rifle's long range and high fire rate, and then execute them with charge.
And if they get close, you can blow them up with Nova instead.
You might be right about Vanguard being more than a shotgun class, but that's not going to stop me from exclusively using one.
We're going to die.
Look, reinforcements are here.
Try to stay calm.
Well, these two are lucky to be alive. Can't say the same for the rest of their friends.
It's either get killed here or probably get harvested by the Reapers. If we're being honest, dying here is better.
Tell that to Dominic Asoba's son, Bilal.
Speaking of which, his body should be around here somewhere.
It is, and Bilal didn't go out sorry. He sacrificed himself so the rest of his squad could get out of here alive. I believe they were the recon squad Admiral Hackett mentioned earlier.
Oh hell yeah, good old cryo explosion. Music to my ears.
And straight into a pyro explosion too, a little bit of icy hot.
I strongly recommend getting cryo ammo to level 4, assuming you have it, so you can give it to your squad mates simply because triggering a cryo explosion is satisfying.
Aren't we supposed to be escorting the civilians to safety or something?
I completely forgot about that as soon as we stopped talking to them. The combat is more important.
They're fine. Cerberus stops giving a crap about killing innocent people when Shepard and friends are on the field.
That's got to be a really shitty way to go, blasted by a claymore, frozen solid, and then shattered by Rex smacking the hell out of you.
I'd say it's almost excessive. Surely being frozen inside and out would kill you before being shattered does.
You're starting to slip up.
Not right now. I'm not. God damn it. James just scared the hell out of me.
Trust me, if that had been an enemy behind you, you'd be dead already. Didn't even react until after the shot went off.
The civilians are finally on the move.
I guess I maybe should go check in on them.
Not before you shove the particle rifle up that Cerberus engineer's ass.
That's all you had to say. All right, let's see where those two civilians ran off to.
What the hell? Am I crazy? Or is that them taking cover right behind one of the Cerberus guys?
Are we sure they're civilians? Or are they actually in league with Cerberus to make us drop our guard?
No, that was actually a genius ploy. They were blending in with the enemy to protect themselves. Think about it, Cerberus would be looking for civilians who are on the run. But a pair of them hiding inside Cerberus ranks? Who would suspect that?
I guess that checks out, but I feel like the guy who was directly above them was onto their tricks.
Then it's a good thing you came back to finally help them.
This map looks really annoying the way enemies could be anywhere.
If I remember correctly, Firebase Ghost had a hazard where acid rain would fall and do damage to shields and barriers, so you had to play indoors from time to time.
You know, I've always wanted to know why BioWare didn't try to bring back 3's multiplayer in the Legendary Edition. Like, even from a money-making perspective. It seems like a good idea.
It's not really all that complex. BioWare just didn't seem to think it was worth the time investment. Gotta remember, in today's day and age, BioWare couldn't slap the multiplayer in and leave it as is. There would be an expectation of continuous support. I still don't know how BioWare managed to do weekly patches for a multiplayer that was seen as secondary content. Never mind the fact that it got DLC too.
Yeah, I guess they don't exactly have the manpower to support a multiplayer anymore. And I gotta imagine they weren't too keen on making a paid multiplayer in the same era as Overwatch and Valorant.
I like the subtle jab at Concord there.
Well, Mass Effect 3's multiplayer wouldn't exactly compete with Overwatch or Valorant, as it had no PvP component. It was entirely player versus environment. The real thing to worry about would be the monetization. I don't think the loot boxes that were tied to your progression in the multiplayer would play all too well in today's gaming climate.
Wait, back up. Are you telling me Mass Effect did loot boxes before Overwatch?
Of course, this is Electronic Arts we're talking about here.
Neither Overwatch nor Mass Effect 3 were the originators of loot boxes. Pretty sure Japanese games been had them. And EA was playing with the idea in FIFA since '09.
The monetization issues aside, there was a lot of good in 3's multiplayer. I'm sure plenty of the folks in the comments will sound off on that, but if we're all being honest with ourselves here at Mass Effect, and the fan base care most about the single-player content. Mass Effect 3's multiplayer is still up and running to this day. Maybe BioWare will drop a new multiplayer in Mass Effect 5, like they did with Andromeda. But I wouldn't hold out hope for that.
Let's focus on making a decent base game
hell are you
first
doing,
before we
James?
worry about a multiplayer. BioWare is about to get sent to the graveyard at this rate.
Well, can't disagree with you there.
I just had to play Ring Around a Rosie with this stupid-ass Cerberus trooper.
I was going to tell you that you went around the wrong way, but decided to let you play it how you wanted.
I appreciate the Joe, but also f*** you at the same time.
Reinforcements are moving in to secure the evac route.
Good work, everyone.
I'll pick you up at the LZ, Commander.
You two are lucky to be alive. Now we're sending you to the front lines on Earth.
We're getting reports of continuing strikes against other cities on Benning.
Well, that amounted to a whole lot of nothing.
That's not true. We got to kill more Cerberus
and
guys.
For once we're inclined to believe them. Gunning down innocent humans isn't their usual MO.
Yes, Cerberus prefers to abduct them or lure them to Sanctuary and turn them into husks.
From this mission, we got the Arcturus 1st Division, which is a volunteer army of civilians, paramilitary forces, and reserve soldiers who have banded together to stop the Reaper occupation. Additionally, a few Alliance squadrons have been spared to support the makeshift army.
This crash site's a nightmare. Looks like Rex was right about Reaper scouts.
I guess since Rex helped us out on Benning, it's time for us to help him kick some Reapers off Tuchanka.
Oh boy, we've got Junior on the battlefield and he's messing things up. Bad look from Victus Sr. here.
Try to raise him.
For a Turian commander, what happened here is, let's just say the Turian code is not forgiving. And that it's his son is bad for the Primarch. Promoting family without merit can bite you in the ass.
It's always good to bring Garrus onto this mission for extra insight into Turian culture.
You're able to bring Ashley and the other one onto this mission if you delay it, right?
Yes, Caden will either say it's commendable to follow in your parents' footsteps when they're in military life, or he'll empathize with Lieutenant Victus's situation since he had a massive screw-up, despite being the Primarch's son. The dialogue you get depends on who you bring. Garrus will typically override what everyone else says.
Crazy that these voice lines exist when tons of people probably never heard them.
They left lines like those in, but didn't let us hear what happened to Ronald Taylor.
Ashley naturally has something to say when Garrus starts talking about how war runs in the Victus bloodline, which makes sense given her own family's reputation in the Alliance.
Lieutenant, I need you to fire a flare so I can find your position.
Yeah, let's fire a flare. The Reapers totally won't see that themselves.
I think the Reapers already know where they are, Joe.
Got it.
Yeah, everyone is dying right now, Lieutenant. Them's the breaks.
Another day of Commander Shepard and their small band of friends having to do the job of an entire platoon of soldiers.
A secret Turian mission on Tuchanka is especially odd. Thoughts?
Why the hell is the Reaper advisor to the Primarch asking us?
When Victus said it was classified, he meant to everyone except for him and his son.
Victus went to great lengths to hide the Turian presence here on Tuchanka. If you bring Liara onto the mission, she'll say that her sources said something about the Reapers being on the planet, but she got nothing about the Turians.
I guess the Shadow Brokers information network isn't as flawless as we were led to believe.
Well, Lyra's agents are dying left and right like everything else in the galaxy, so you can't blame her for letting a few things slip through the cracks.
Did I just take credits off that dead Turian?
Nothing like a little bit of grave robbing when the body's probably still warm and hasn't even been buried.
It's not the worst thing that could happen to your freshly killed corpse.
Don't even start with that, Donald.
Time for a harvester to take them out. Died in the explosion? Or dragged out and chewed on by husks?
Well, no wonder they fucking died. They were packing the M9 Tempest.
The Tempest isn't even a bad gun. We put it in good tier.
I know where we put it, and like I said in the video, I'd sooner not use an SMG at all before using the Tempest.
Donald, you don't use anything but shotguns as is.
Surprise on our side for once. I like it. Exactly. Let's go.
The dialogue there might make you think the Reaper forces don't know you're here, but they'll turn on you right away.
I see you didn't let Garrus have the Typhoon.
I don't need that busted-ass gun to carry me.
Saying that while you're using the particle rifle is crazy.
At least that comes down to my own ability to aim instead of letting the squad-mate AI kill big enemies in a few seconds. Though at some point I might bring it back just so we can see God Mode Garrus again.
It would have been pretty cool to see Garrus obliterate the worm neck.
Maybe I'll be able to do it with the particle rifle.
Harvester's firing on the Turians!
Not if you let the gun overheat, you won't.
Actually, it's probably for the best I don't kill the Harvester. There's reportedly a bug where if you kill the first 2 results in the remaining Harvester not appearing at the end of the mission, which soft locks you and requires a restart.
You looked like you were really trying to kill it in spite of that bug, Barack.
What are the odds that something like that happens to us?
You don't remember when you randomly clipped through the map back on Therum?
Oh, right. That did happen. I guess this playthrough had been fairly buggy up until we got to 3.
I've played Mass Effect 1 3 times since we got done with it in this playthrough, and I have not been able to recreate that floor clipping thing on Therum. No matter which way I drive through that area, the stars had to align for that to happen during these videos.
There are a lot of fucking bodies here.
Definitely remember the 2 Turian corpses, not the dozen or 2 of husks.
The vanilla game implies these soldiers died in the crash. Here it makes it look like they actually put up a good fight before being overwhelmed, which is something I like.
We'll take their guns for them so they'll be put to good use.
Follow my lead.
Let's save this last pocket of Turians before we run off to go see how badly Victus's son screwed things.
Is there a downside to not rescuing the Turians?
Not really. I think you just miss out on some additional experience and praise from your squad mates for saving their asses. It doesn't impact the war assets in any way.
When are you going to talk about the cut content for this mission?
How do you know there's cut content, Joe?
I saw Barry's notes before the episode.
All of a sudden you want to hear me yap about cut content corner material.
I mean, you're going to regardless, so I figure I might as well segue to it.
Barack, those husks aren't all dead?
I'll worry about them later, and Joe, I appreciate the assistance, but I know when it'll be time to start dropping cut content material. It's all about the timing here.
That husk still is not dead.
It's not important. Holy fuck.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
That husk said it'll teach you to ignore it.
Well, now that Husk's head has been reduced to a pulpy mass, so who's the real winner?
Well, the Harvester, because it got to live to see another day.
James, if you're to backseat me, can you please do it before I've started going in the right direction?
Over here.
Well, I'll be damned. Who knew the squad mates had a sense of humor?
I knew I should have brought Liara and Edie here. Instead, pair those 2 boys together and they think they're fucking comedians.
They were just trying to make sure that you knew you were meant to go over there. No, not there, over here.
Joe, shut up.
How's our velocity? Deceleration online. We'll survive. Victus is going to pay for this. Court-martial or hanging?
Jesus, Garrus wasn't kidding when he said Turian code wasn't forgiving.
At that point, you might as well die fighting on the battlefield.
All right, now's the time to start delving into the cut content, and I gotta say, this really paints the mission and Victus Sr. in a different light. So in the leaked script for Mass Effect 3, it seems Turian Platoon and Tuchanka Bomb are treated as a continuous assignment. When you finished rescuing Tarquin, Adrian would have had a less, let's say, fatherly response to his son. Lieutenant Tarquin would receive an update from the Primarch that says, and I quote, "My son is a failure and an embarrassment. Kill him."
Well, goddamn.
And there's that unforgiving Turian code.
Needless to say, it's a very different response from what we know in the actual game.
James just got fucking flatlined by that Harvester.
This is the earliest point you can actually face a Harvester, despite seeing one of them during Priority Polyvan. And they're definitely a bit of a pain in the ass at this point in the game.
You know, thinking about it now, just what the hell was Tarquin thinking, taking his ship low through these ruins when there are Harvesters about in the area? No wonder he got shot down.
Garrus did kind of imply that Tarquin was promoted without sufficient merit. Him being a screw-up makes sense.
Well, Victus Sr. probably picked his son for this mission because he was the only person he could trust to deal with the bomb without letting the information slip out to the Krogan or anyone else.
The squad mates really just walking straight out to get clapped.
They'll be fine. And as for why Tarquin took his ships through the ruins, he decides to avoid a head-on attack by using, as he calls it, clever tactics. It turned out to not be so clever after all, and it got a bunch of men killed.
Avoiding head-on battle? Sounds a little familiar.
I don't follow.
What Tarquin did here isn't too unlike what Adrian did back when he was dealing with the Turian separatists. Instead of going down and fighting the Turian rebels and Salarian spy ring, he gave up forts and let the two groups tire each other out before going in and finishing them off. So I'm sure Tarquin was trying to be just like his father and avoid losing any of his men by going against what would be considered accepted strategy in favor of a more clever approach.
Well, unfortunately for Tarquin, he's not his dad and lost a whole lot of men anyway.
Well,
looks like Tarquin isn't the only one who's catching some L's in these ruins.
That was honestly kind of crazy. The damn thing shot me the second I left cover, and then I couldn't see anything because of the smoke and fire.
You can skip the excuses, Barry.
I'm not making excuses, I'm just explaining what happened to me back there.
Not gonna lie, Barack, I was a little worried you might run away with things here, but now that you died once, I know you can bleed, and I see the vision. You won't be walking away with the W in Mass Effect 3.
I die one time, and you're really confidently ready to declare things like that.
I know a disaster is brewing when I see one.
This playthrough is all about us going through periods of overconfidence and then being promptly humbled when the game bites our asses. And I think it's completely fair to say that you're overdue for your ass being bit, Barry.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Oh boy, I feel it. The disaster is about to come true.
Watch the grenade.
Damn it, I need to move. Oh shit, that's not cover.
Ah yes, the stun lock begins.
Let me guess you should have charged into the cannibal that threw the grenade at you instead of sliding away to the side.
Gee, Donald, I had no idea you were a mind reader.
That's 2 deaths, Barry. You're one off from being tied up with Donald again.
It's just one of my usual 3 death episodes, totally within normal expectations.
Much like the cycle of Reaper extinction events, that cycle is meant to be broken.
The cycle must continue.
You're talking about your 3 deaths thing, right?
Yes. I am not getting killed by this worm neck again.
I think you're just barely out of range. You should try moving up.
Thanks for the advice, Joe, but I am not moving from this spot until that thing either blows up or leaves.
You're lucky. It seems to be more interested in trying to kill James than it is you right now.
Finally, it's leaving me alone.
Hey, Barry, remember when you said you didn't need Garrus to carry the Typhoon?
Yes, I remember saying that, and it's still true.
Whoa, careful there. Getting killed by the regular infantry after all of this would be crazy.
Trust me, I am not doing that harvester section again.
All right, let's move!
Final area of combat. Time to see if Barack gets held up again.
Garrus yelling for Palaven while on the home planet of his species' mortal enemy is pretty interesting.
Those grenades are doing good work.
I'm just glad there's a wide open space here so I can actually do stuff.
Yo, Barack, I'm actually acting in good faith when I say this. Do not ignore that brute like you ignored the husk earlier. Getting grabbed this time will have some pretty dire consequences.
That's nice of you to say after preying on my downfall earlier.
If I'm going to take the lead, I want it to be because you died while trying your hardest, so there's no doubt who's better.
Was that the Turians asking for help now? Like we aren't the ones with all the guns aimed at us.
A pincer attack would go crazy right now, but I guess the Turians are too out of it to lend a hand here.
Oh, I do not like the fact that grenade just landed next to me.
God, the back-to-back elemental explosions never get old.
Is that brute still alive?
Yes, it is, and I should probably deal with it before it tries to gank me.
Now that's what I like to see. I knew I wasn't the only one with the balls to charge dick first into a brute.
It's a fun thing to do from time to time.
I'll lead charging into the 1,000-pound Krogan Turian abomination to the 2 of you maniacs.
Barack, can you just kill the damn brute already?
I'm working on it. Where the hell did this guy come from? There, the brute's dead.
Just in time for the harvester to show up and start blasting you.
Looks like it decided to start blasting Garrus instead.
Those shots had to have missed. Garrus is not tanky enough to eat a barrage from the harvester. Okay, well now I have its attention. and I'm not entirely sure what to do about it.
Isn't one of those super weapons around here somewhere?
It's the Reaper Black Star. It's somewhere on the battlefield.
I think it might be all the way on the other side.
Well, you can either try to go for it, or you can just fight it with your laser beam.
I'll see if I can make it.
There being like a 2-second window between blasts is crazy.
I really do not like my position here.
At least the harvester doesn't have line of sight on you.
All right, let's move.
That grenade is trouble, bro.
Well, that was some bullshit.
That looked like being stuck between a rock and a hard place, but I don't think that grenade would have killed you.
It 100% would have. Barack would have been in the clear, but that last shot from the harvester just barely fired in time before that stone pillar would have been in the way.
It's completely fine. That was my standard third death. Time to lock in.
I'm starting to hear a little bit of a quiver in your voice, Barry.
Okay, bro, what the f do you think this is, Dark Souls?
Shut up, Donald.
It's not every day you get to see Barry panicking a little bit.
All right, I'm starting to get a little pissed off.
Easy does it, Barry.
Rest in piss, you stupid-ass brute. All right, time for round 2.
Damn, that thing really has it out for Garrus. It flew in and started blasting him out the gate both times.
Oh, hell yeah, this is the angle I needed.
You're not going to use the Reaper Black Star?
I'm pretty sure I don't need it now. Thank Christ it's over. This mission is harder than we give it credit for.
Or maybe you're not as good as you think you are, by the way. You and I are all tied up now, and you've still got another mission to go.
Don't pat yourself on the back too hard there, Donald.
You two can stop having your dick measuring contest. The Turians are in need of assistance.
They're fine. Well, I mean, some of them are fine. Not the ones that are clearly dead.
Lieutenant Victus?
Damn, son. You really screwed things up.
Commander Shepard, my men and I are in your debt. Thank you for saving so many.
What happened here?
He screwed up.
I like the different outfits the Turians have.
These men are dead because of him. I said, stand down.
Hey, I just saved all your asses, so everyone just calm down.
Yeah, just ignore the fact that I got dropped by that harvester one time.
I made a bad call. This is all on me. I chose caution and clever tactics over a head-on attack.
We already said this once, but it bears repeating. Nice screw up there, Tarquin.
Okay, hold up a second. Tarquin looked at the situation and realized he was doomed to lose a lot of people and changed the plan. And because of that, he's in trouble. Would they have preferred he stuck to the plan and they get fucked up anyway?
Remember what we heard from Garrus and General Corinthus back on Menai. They say bold and wild ideas that go against accepted strategy isn't something the Turians are too particularly fond of. To answer your question, Joe, I'm pretty sure they would have preferred Tarquin stick to whatever the original plan was.
Joker wasn't just playing when he said Garrus had a broom up his ass.
And Garrus considers himself a bad Turian, so imagine how straight-laced the rest of them are. The Alliance might be more understanding toward an individual thinker who makes a mistake like Tarquin did here, but the Turians, they don't like it when someone goes against the grain.
There's a bomb on
the only reason Adrian Victus rose through the ranks is that he actually generated results that no one could ignore.
Enormous.
If he failed like his son did, we'd never hear of the man.
Lieutenant, if Cerberus has that bomb, you have to finish your mission.
Haven't these men sacrificed enough?
Well, I mean, not really. Half of them are still breathing.
Whoa, goddamn Joe.
You know, I was going to say something like that, but you actually beat me to the punch, and I don't know how to feel about it.
I've lost hope, Commander. Even if I wanted to finish the mission, they don't.
It's your job to make them want to.
How?
Listen, son, they only have three options. Either they finish the mission no matter the cost, we throw them onto the front lines of Palaven, and they die there, or Shepard shoots all of them dead right now.
You wasted no time one-upping Joe there.
I just had to make sure we all remember who the Renegade one really is.
Fears? We're only afraid of the next messed up order you give. Irrelevant. Court-martial death and dishonor awaits anyone who balks at his duty.
Now that's more like it.
We are Turian. We finish what we came here to do, or we die trying. Shuttles arrive any minute, so get your asses in gear. Let's move!
Yeah, all right, man, that shit would not have worked on me.
It's like Garrus said, a good Turian follows orders regardless of whether they agree with them.
Use the help.
Send me the nav point. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. That'll give us time to do a little recon. See what we're up against.
Victus, you have a second chance here. Make their sacrifice count.
Understood, Commander. Hope to see you at the rendezvous.
Don't worry now that we're on this operation. There's no way it could go wrong.
Cerberus bomb. What the hell is going on, Commander? And what do the Turians have to do with it?
I think the short answer here is politics.
Victus gave me, place it in the Kelphic Valley. It's a heavily populated area. That's all I know.
My gut says something's not right here.
Yeah, the Primarch was omitting some pretty key information.
Get the Primarch to come clean.
Should we alert the Krogan military?
I'd wait. We're in the dark here. Krogan-Turian relations are fragile until the genophage is cured.
I don't know, man. I feel a sense of loyalty to Rex over this.
How many troops does Cerberus have on this?
No idea. All I know is we can't have them detonating that bomb.
Keep me in the loop. Hack it out.
Primarch Victus.
Victus, you got some explaining to do, my boy.
I'm grateful that...
Why didn't you tell me about the Cerberus bomb?
Whoa, Shepard, keep your voice down. Rex is literally right over
Why
there.
hide that? What else are you keeping from me?
We are not being very secretive at all.
For our alliance to work, I need to trust you.
Our friendship is new, Commander. Would you trust me with information that puts your people, puts Earth, at risk?
Victus, I understand what you're getting at, but telling us about the bomb would not have put Pelivan at risk. I know Barton Joe Shepard is known for detonating a nuke on Vermeer and blowing up a mass relay, but we are capable of working with discretion.
All I've got. Know what I mean?
Sure. And
that's all.
All right, well, we'll go take care of your bomb situation.
Wait, there is one more thing, Commander. Thank you for saving my son.
No problem, Victus. Hopefully nothing bad happens to him.
And now Priority Tuchanka is opening up for us.
Shepard, test verified. Results promising.
We're not doing that today.
Tuchanka is for Joe to pick up next episode. I mean, I guess I could ignore the bomb situation, but that has some pretty negative consequences.
What's the worst that could happen?
Well, for starters, Bakara will die.
Okay, never mind. You better get the bomb mission dealt with.
you altered the genophage before. There must be a way.
Of course, always possibilities, but time limited. Can't create new infection strain from scratch.
What if we just gave the cure to Rex for now and save the rest of them for later? Let's be honest, he's the only one with any kind of pull right now.
I know you're joking, Donald, but...
Who told you I was joking?
Okay, maybe you're serious, that aside. I'm surprised Reeve doesn't suggest he be given the cure to the genophage alone, so he gets to be the most powerful male in Krogan history, as the only reliable breeder.
He probably cares more about waging war on the galaxy than he does about cracking as many women as he can.
Virus. It ended the Krogan rebellions. I'd be careful who you tell that to.
Well, he already told it to the leader of the Krogan. Can't get a whole lot worse than that.
The Krogan want to shoot everyone in sight.
Those were desperate times.
I can't be mad at it.
Original
Anything for a well-aimed kaboom.
Shroud facility. Can use it as transmission vector. Then use Shroud to blanket Tuchanka with cure.
You clever little pyjack. That's our best shot, right there.
Then finish your preparations and be ready to go, Morton.
Of course. Ready when you need me. We'll be in Medbay with Eve until then.
We still need to go clean up Tarquin's mess.
All right, here's another one. Dates back to the Rachni Wars. So, a Krogan and a Solarian have landed on a Rachni world for a top-secret mission.
This joke is either going to get him canceled or be the funniest thing in the world.
Rarely took part in raids on Rachni-occupied worlds directly.
Missing the point.
Not Edie ruining the build-up with facts.
This nasty green fog. And as they get near the top, they come out of the fog, and the Solarian sees thousands of Rachni. He looks over at the Krogan and says, "Oh, well, that makes me nervous."
He sounds like Shaggy talking about some zoink scoop.
When this is over, I have to go back down through that fog by myself.
The implication being that the Solarian soldier would be dead.
Yes. Thank you for killing the 2,000-year-old joke.
The joke was kind of mid, to be totally honest.
Stereotypes on both sides. The Krogan appears brutish and insensitive, while the Solarian appears weak. Stereotypes such as exemplified here led to the development and use of the genophage.
All right, Edie, I see where you're coming from, but I feel like there's quite a few steps between Salarians are cowards and Krogans are dickhead brutes and a sterility plague.
sometimes it's a way to air out the ugly things people think.
Joker has a point. Comedy is getting too clean because people are up in their feelings. If something is funny, I'm laughing at that shit regardless of what it's about.
So was it funny when I said you were built like a pumpkin and have the same color tone as one?
Joe, that was like the second video we did together, which was so far back, I'm surprised your demented ass can remember that rant. But yes, it was as funny as all the jokes I make about your failing mental capabilities.
I am impressed by your continued existence, Shepard. The probability of surviving as long as you have is low.
Well, Edie, we did die once, so at this point our survival odds must be in the negative.
Certainly possible. Would require strengthening exercises. Get muscles to support weaker bone structure.
Right. Yeah, I can do that.
What conversation did we just walk in on?
Just Morden giving more of his, medical advice.
Recommend pillows, cushions, possibly gel packs.
Okay, that's a little weirder, but yeah, all right, cushions.
Positioning critical to success. Can forward Edie charts.
I feel like putting Edie on top is asking for a shattered pelvis.
Edie's pretty busy with,
Joker, you dumbass, you're talking about this on the ship's intercom. Do you think she can't hear this?
Like Shepard doesn't really need to know.
You really tried to hide stuff that happens on our ship.
Shepard won't learn about it from me.
He's standing right there, isn't he?
I wish I wasn't.
Poor Bakara.
That conversation implies that Edie's body has the parts necessary for intimacy, which makes the elusive man's modeling it after his dead female friend all the more questionable.
I was wondering why you weren't saying anything during that bit, and I'm not the least bit surprised that's what you were thinking about.
You're not the only one who can stop and think and connect a few dots.
Oh, this and that.
Come on, spill it to Sony.
It's nice to see Garrus and Liara hitting it off, especially since we rejected her and we're not letting Garrus have his hookup with Tali.
Shepard stop a robotic assassin on Mars. Oh,
that robotic assassin is now sitting in the cockpit with our physically disabled pilot.
Yeah, so just this and that, huh?
Liara has done a lot of living, and she's only 109. She's got a little less than 900 years of this to go.
And 1,000-year-long lifespan sounds exhausting.
Hello, Shepard.
I'm curious to see how this bomb on Tuchanka plays out. I don't suppose ignoring it is an option.
Oh, it's definitely an option, but we'll save how bad things get if you do that for when we're on the mission proper.
What do you think about our new yeoman, Ms. Trainer?
She's not a yeoman, she's a communications specialist. And you're barking up the wrong tree, Kenneth. You're not her type.
I wish Gabby had told me I wouldn't be Sam's type before I embarrassed myself in my very first Mass Effect 3
Maybe I
run.
should. Nobody's barking up my tree.
If it works out, be sure to take video.
Ken is giving me a run for my money when it comes to being unashamedly horny.
It'll all pay off at the end of the game.
He should just consider himself lucky Miss Daniels already likes him.
Let's see what quotable line Javik has for us today.
I heard about the events on Tuchanka. You should not have let the Turian soldier evade his responsibility.
I take it Protheans didn't forgive many mistakes?
If he had been under my command, I would have marooned him in the desert, buried him in sand up to his neck, and let the wildlife feast on his eyes. If he survived that...
That seems like a whole lot of effort when you could have just shot him dead from the beginning.
Good soldiers are a precious resource. The stupidity of one cannot be allowed to jeopardize the lives of the others.
And there's Javik's cold quote for today's episode.
Hiding something, Commander. Be careful.
Trust me, Javik, I know.
Talk to me about this Cerberus bomb.
Tarquin, I hope you're ready to make the ultimate sacrifice for this.
It's Turian.
What do you mean, Turian?
It was planted centuries ago, after the Krogan rebellions. The bomb was a safeguard against another galactic war.
I guess it's a good thing no one found it, or, a giant thresher maw didn't accidentally set it off.
I guess sterilizing them wasn't enough of a bomb.
To be fair, we know Rex's father wanted to restart tensions and only didn't because he got killed by his son.
But right now, we focus on disarming that bomb.
Yes, but Cerberus found it. Detonation means all-out war between my people and the Krogan.
How the hell did Cerberus stumble upon this bomb after it was sitting in the ground for centuries?
Probably the same way they found out about the female Krogan on Surkesh. Someone who opposes the genophage cure let it slip so Cerberus could weaken the Krogan, perhaps even with hopes of pinning the explosion on the Turians to kill the Alliance altogether.
And you just know it had to be that slimy-ass, wiggly-ass, annoying-ass Solarian Dalatras who's responsible for this.
That was Bars Donald.
And in other news, we appear to be landing on the beaches of Normandy because this looks like some D-Day shit.
Wait, what the f*** is the Normandy named after Normandy from World War II?
There's no way you just put that together.
Joe, I swear I explained that to you before.
I guess I forgot.
Anyway, as I'm sure you've guessed, you can bring either the Vermeer survivor or Tali onto this mission if you delay it long enough to recruit them.
God damn, that was so sick.
Both Ashley and Caden will mention that this mission reminds them of the one that died on Vermeer. Ashley will say it's been a long time since that event happened. While Kaidan and Shepard relate that Ashley would probably give them a hard time for being all somber about her death.
I like how they treat the events of Mass Effect 1 as if it happened half a lifetime ago when it's been a maximum of 3 years.
The squad has done a lot of living since the old days.
It's a good thing all these explosions are cosmetic and doing absolutely nothing to both us and the Cerberus guys.
Sometimes it's all about setting the scenery, but it is funny to hear so much urgency from the squad when we could stand here and nothing would happen. Anyway, talking about the cut content some more. In the beta version of the mission, Shepard and friends would be carving a safe path for the Turians to reach the bomb, and once they reached the target, we would be faced with a choice. You could sacrifice the Turian platoon in a last-ditch attempt to charge the Cerberus camp around the bomb, overcoming the objectives, and gaining control of the intact bomb, which would add to our resources for the war effort. Alternatively, you could order the Turians to paint the bomb from a safe distance away for a mortar bombardment, which would reduce the casualties and gain us an ally, but only allow us to collect the raw materials from the bomb.
Bro, once again, why in the f do we hear about so much cut content that sounds better than what makes it into the base game?
Well, unfortunately, Mass Effect 3, which was by far the most ambitious title in the trilogy, got developed in less time than Mass Effect 1 and 2, which had a smaller scale. I'm sure there was a desire to get at least some of this stuff from the leaked script into the game, but the time frame just didn't allow for it.
It seems that the leaked script implies that you could have kept Tarquin alive if you chose to just destroy the bomb from a safe distance.
Yeah, I'm assuming the ally you gain in that outcome is Tarquin and whatever remains of the 9th Platoon.
I wonder how that situation plays with the fact that Adrian orders his son be killed for his failure.
I'm hoping Adrian forgives his son for successfully destroying the bomb in the end, and we move on from there.
He might, though, as Garrus will tell us later on, Turian code isn't very forgiving.
I wonder what they were thinking when they wrote that dialogue of Adrian ordering his son's murder.
They were probably trying to stick true to the Turians' military and merit-centered culture, but then realized this kind of makes Adrian seem like a total dickhead, and that the players probably won't appreciate his character.
Which choice would you pick? Sacrifice that platoon and get the bomb, or just destroy it and keep the 9th Platoon? Personally, I'm keeping that bomb so we can drop it on Harbinger or something.
The platoon is worth saving, obviously. What's one bomb compared to a few good soldiers?
Aight, I remind you that this set of missions is predicated on the platoon failing because their leader made a bad call.
Without the exact details, such as what the war asset point split would look like, or what exactly the bomb contributes in terms of lore, I'm probably picking the platoon as well, though I could easily be swayed in the other direction.
Man, Rex taking the aggro of the turrets is a luxury I wish we could have more often.
Thankfully, a good charge is a perfectly fine substitute to having a Krogan tank all the bullets.
That's the most base thing you've said.
Krogan and then plant a bomb on their planet. Pretty extreme, but those were desperate times.
A cunning strategy. Control your enemies without them knowing it.
I'm not surprised Javik would agree.
If you had Tali on this mission, she would comment that planting the bomb was unforgivable since the Turians already won. And if responding to Garrus specifically, she'll say it was monstrous.
That checks out. Quarians lost their homeworld and probably wouldn't appreciate anyone destroying the homeworld of another species, even if it's the Krogan following the rebellions.
See, that's why Tali is the perfect romance for us. She balances out our renegade with her paragon.
If you're curious, the squad mates have a decent range of reactions to the bomb being planted on Tuchanka. Ash will say that the bomb is an ugly solution, but a hell of a lot better than another galactic war.
That's my girl.
Of course, Ashley assumes a war is an inevitability.
Lyra, just like Tali, will call using the bomb as a fail-safe monstrous. While Edie says that while the bomb is morally questionable, the strategy is sound. There isn't anything on Kaidan I can find, but while on the Normandy he'll express concerns about how populated the Kelphic Valley is, which is the location the bomb is at. And that allows me to segue into what happens if you ignore the bomb.
Damn, you really do plan the timing of these topics out.
If you neglect to do Tuchanka bomb, you'll be faced with some consequences, both lore-wise and in terms of your war assets. In terms of the latter, you'll get a 300-point reduction of the Krogan war assets as a significant portion of the Krogan population, including Bakara, if she survived priority Tuchanka, will die in the explosion. Unfortunately, the Krogan had been in the Kelphic Valley celebrating the genophage cure, which is why so many die.
Yep, I'm never forgetting to do this mission.
And in terms of the lore, let's just say Rex, and to an even greater extent Reeve, do not appreciate the fact that the bomb went off. Rex will send an email commenting on the explosion and simply say that too many Krogan died. Reeve, on the other hand, well, I'll just quote him directly. They hit Tuchanka. Massive bomb meant to cripple us. When we find out who is responsible, every Krogan will cry out for blood. We will slaughter them all.
Sounds like old Reeve is promising a generational crash out.
Considering Javik just called the bomb a planet killer, he might actually be valid for once.
Another thing, if you've done the unthinkable and sabotaged the genophage cure while Rex is still alive, he will bring up your inaction, which allowed the bomb to go off while confronting Shepard on the Citadel.
How the hell did he find out about the bomb at all in that scenario?
I'm going to assume Cerberus let that information slip. They would know about the Turian Squad's mission to stop the bomb, and might also be aware Shepard would ask for assistance. Just forward the information to Rex, and there you go.
What happens to the 9th Platoon if you don't do the bomb mission?
I can't say there isn't really anything on that.
Well, you motivate Adrian to continue his mission. So he probably comes here and fails without Shepard, which lends support to the idea that Cerberus would leak the Turians and Shepard's knowledge about the bomb.
Let's make sure this bomb doesn't go off so Cerberus doesn't get another W.
Slow us down. I need to create a bypass. That'll take time.
You know, we really should have brought Edie so she could crack this in under a second.
Are you sure you can disarm the trigger?
Yes, it's old tech. I know what to do. Buy me a few minutes, Commander.
Thank God they still teach Turians how to use tech that's got to be many centuries old at the minimum.
Understood. Starting bypass. And thank you for making sure I get this chance.
Just make it right, soldier.
Well, there goes that guy.
The good old cutscene bullet strikes again. Bro's shields meant absolutely nothing.
We're lucky that shot didn't kill Adrian. Or anyone else more important like Garrus, Shepard, and Javik. All right, time to hold it down while Adrian takes care of things.
Nobody gets past us. Clear? Understood.
It's a safe bet that health bar up there isn't cosmetic.
Not at all. If Adrian starts taking fire, it'll slowly deplete. And if he dies, it's game over.
Cryo might not be the best ammo power when it comes to dealing with armor, shield, and barrier health, but there's nothing like turning your opponents into scattered pieces of ice.
And to think you were saying you worried about me just because I like explosions.
You know, now that we have Javik, Dark Channel as our bonus power seems redundant, which I'm pretty sure I pointed out when Joe picked it.
Well, someone can change it whenever they want.
I was thinking about picking up Lash at some point, mainly because I think we should ragdoll Kai Leng when the opportunity comes.
Now that's an idea I can get behind.
You just reminded me we're getting close to actually having to deal with that absolute clown.
And I can't wait to make fun of him every step of the way. From the moment he fails to kill his target on the Citadel to the moment we destroy his guts in the elusive man's room.
Destroy his guts, Azan. Interesting way to describe that, Donald.
Had that guy hung up on the fence.
Oh, okay, so that's how we're doing things.
You got some insane plot armor there.
And there's the big boss.
I can't believe Barry is about to get away with only dying 3 times in an episode again.
I told you, the cycle must continue.
I'm still holding out hope here.
I'm glad it's shooting at me and not at Tarquin. The Atlas does a lot of damage to him.
I think I hear a shuttle landing. You might want to wrap this up.
All right, that's enough out of this thing. And that settles that.
I think it's over Donald. He's clearing it.
Not yet, there's still time.
You can stop preying on my downfall, buddy.
Okay, wait, hold on now.
In your dreams. God,
that's what I'm
damn
fucking talking about.
Damn, Barry, I was just starting to believe in you. You were at the tail end of the battle.
Jesus Christ, can the screen finish fading in from black before my shields get evaporated?
Ladies and gentlemen, the cycle has finally ended. Barack has died more than 3 times in a single episode, making this his worst episode of the series thus far. And on top of that, I'm back in the lead, baby.
I wonder if we'll see a 5th.
Do not get your hopes up. Just got to get through this again. That's all I got to do.
You sound nervous there, my boy.
This episode is one for the record books.
Where in the hell did this motherfucker come from?
You're so cooked. If the Centurion doesn't get you, the grenade will.
And there it is, the 5th death. Congratulations, Barack.
This was not in the script at all.
No amount of plot armor could have saved you there, and now the competition is starting to get interesting.
Yeah, okay, all right. I'm sitting up. This bullshit ends now. All right, finally at the end again, just gotta wrap this up.
What do you think, Joe? Will he die a 6th time?
My brain is telling me no, but my heart is telling me yes.
Joe, you're talking like you don't have 25 deaths right now.
I forgot he was at 25.
I might be at 25, but that's because I played 2 of the hardest early game missions. Let's see how things shape out after episode 7, when the only thing I have to do is not die on Tuchanka.
Knowing you, you'll find a way to die when you only have 1 combat mission.
Donald, don't let Barry deflect from the fact that he's the one getting clapped right now.
You know what? You're right, Joe. It's not every day we get to come after Barack.
Screw you guys, I promise you I'm not dying again here.
He's taking fire! Protect him!
Well, at this rate, it's a race to see who will fall first, you or Tarquin.
God damn it.
Full warning, Barry. If Tarquin dies, it's counting as a death for you too.
No, absolutely the f not. I am not going out sorry like this.
It's make or break time for you.
You know, the fact that Tarquin can tank multiple shots from the Atlas when 2 of his boys got 1 shot in the cutscene is pretty funny.
Just hurry the hell up, Lieutenant.
Don't rush the man because you're having a hard time.
He'd probably be done by now if you hadn't let the Atlas shoot at him a few times. Tarquin is probably over there bleeding from multiple wounds.
Oh God, who else is left? Thank God I did it.
You may have done it, but what did it cost you?
Nothing but a little bit of my patience. I'll be back in the lead in no time at all.
Whatever helps you sleep at night between episodes.
It sure feels nice not having all the heat be on me for once.
I have to separate the trigger from the bomb. Now! Cover me!
Why the hell are we pulse firing the particle rifle like that?
It's because in the vanilla game it gives Shepard, and everyone else for that matter, the M8 Avenger in most cutscenes, even if it isn't a gun they can equip. Mods make it so you have the accurate gun, which can create some interesting interactions.
You know, we're in a cutscene again. It'd be really bad if someone shot at Tarquin while he's up there because he'd die immediately.
And of course something wound up breaking.
Well, this thing has been sitting here who knows how long exposed to the elements of Tuchanka. It makes sense.
You know what needs to be done, Tarquin.
Lieutenant! Victory. At any cost.
Rest in peace, son. You did good.
Commander, I've got radio chatter coming in from Krogan forces planetside.
Good thing we got through this before Rex sent his people in.
Honestly, Barry could have used Rex's help here.
Yeah, go ahead and make your jokes.
You gotta be awkward, Joker, trying to be funny, and we're all in here mourning Tarquin.
Even Javik looked a little somber.
The Primarch's son included.
Understood, Commander. Joker out.
Sorry to put a damper on your mood, Joker. We know you were real excited to get that medical advice from Morton earlier.
Whatever he was before, he'll be remembered for this.
What will the Turians think about this, Garrus?
Hard to say. Sacrifice and more is expected. He did us proud, but we're a hard bunch to please.
Not to mention, there's tons of Turians making sacrifices every day at the moment.
Platoon first.
But we'll make sure Tarquin goes down in the history books for assisting us in getting this Turian-Krogan alliance.
Yes. Yes, he did.
Good work on Tuchanka, Commander. Stopping that bomb prevented the war between the Turians and the Krogan.
If I'm being completely honest, Admiral, it was a pain in the ass.
Joker said the Krogan are recovering the bomb.
So we're just going to let the Krogan keep the bomb that was described as a planet killer.
If you want to go tell Rex he can't have it, you're welcome to try Joe.
It should be fine as long as Rex doesn't let some knucklehead or grunt get a hold of it. I would be really worried if Reeve were calling the shots.
Alliance between those Keep the peace, Commander. That's an order.
Yes, sir.
Keep the peace might be the most insane assignment Shepard has gotten.
We couldn't risk another galactic war with the Krogan.
The genophage wasn't enough? You had to plant a bomb on my planet?
Rex is rightfully upset, but he's talking like Adrian put the bomb there personally. At best, it was a long-ago ancestor of the Victus bloodline.
Tell us about the bomb, coward.
Hey!
At the same time, probably would have done the Alliance some favors if Adrian had been more open about it to begin with. The Krogans, Turians, and Shepard's squad could have all worked together.
At the end of the day, the issue isn't the bomb, it's the deception.
Working together, we have a chance. Primarch, you had a bomb at Tuchanka. And Rex, in the Turians' place, you would have done the same damn thing.
In the Turians' place, I feel like Rex would have been a lot more forward with his threats.
His own son died today, making this right.
Please, Commander. It's all right.
Yes, fine. Shepard, you made your point. We have stronger enemies to face.
Well, I guess keeping the peace is easy enough after all.
Shepard is very persuasive when they start yelling.
I understand your reservations before, Commander, but I hope you now understand the secrecy.
Respectfully, Primarch, your son and his platoon didn't have to die for this.
Secrets get people killed. You've learned that the hard way.
Yes. The hardest lesson I'm ever to learn, Commander. My son, he died with the respect of his men. I wanted to thank you for that. His sacrifice will be recorded in the histories of the 9th Platoon. Something any father would be proud of.
Yes, sir.
I suppose we'll be leaving you all on a rather somber note.
If it makes anyone feel better, Barack got throttled this episode, and I'm going to be clowning him between now and next time.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Next time, I'm clearing up our errands on the Citadel and then getting us through one of the best missions in the game, good old Priority Tuchanka.
Yep, you've got a good one ahead of you, Joe, but until then, you all know the drill. Stay safe out there, drink plenty of water, get some sleep, and we'll see you on the next one.